Well, hello there, YouTube. Welcome to Monday, the 26th of February. It was it's 30. Well, it's 36 now, but it was 32 when we got up, and up until a few minutes ago, it was snowing out here. And all of a sudden, the sunshine came out, and it wasn't sticking. Nothing was sticking, but it was pummeling down. It was a good mix. It wasn't pure snow. There was a little rain in it, but it looked very cool. See the snow falling down, but it was just hitting the ground and melting. Wow, it's hard to believe it was so dark and doomy this morning, and it turned out to be this. But I think it's supposed to just be partly cloudy most of the day, but until 1 o'clock, we've got like 80-90% chance of rain, so the wetness isn't over. But anyway, welcome to Monday. 40 degrees, very cloudy, and snow on and off all the way here. It was pouring down snow a couple of times. Yeah. Thankfully, nothing's sticking.
Yeah. We're done.
Yeah.
I want no more snow.
Well, Mama, that dadgum Monday done slipped back around as always.
Sneaky gal.
Yeah. It's Mother Nature, boy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah?
I reckon we better go in there and earn our keep, huh?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Well, have yourself a wonderful day.
You too.
All right. Love you. See you. Bye.
I love you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Man, it's been off and on just heaving snow down here since we got here. I was coming up and down the ramp once when it unleashed on me. I had to lay my coat out to dry it. Well, it's water resistant, but to dry all the water off of it. But the Vanquish suspension links showed up. Incision is a division of Vanquish products. The shocks and all that stuff all are Incision. But so the upper, well, I think these are actually steering. Well, that might be. Yeah, it's all the link rods. So there's some steering stuff in there too. But the upper ones are those little spindly 3 millimeters, like I was showing you yesterday. But the VRD carbon comes with the 6 millimeter bottom ones. So these are the ones that have the bend in them for the back. So I have the 6-inch for the fronts and the rears, and I'll just have a lot of spares and spare end caps and stuff like that in case something happens to any of the other stuff. The strength needs to be on the bottom ones. I haven't paid for them yet, so I got to walk upstairs and have Kelly ring me up. But I was talking to the rep, and I says, man, I went on that trip. We did a kind of a Utah, Colorado thing last year. And he goes, oh, I remember. I said, man, them things are decidedly not waterproof. I said, what happened? I swear I remember these things being waterproof. And he's looking at me and he goes, so how old are they? I said, they're 5 or 6 years old. He goes, dude, they only last a couple of years. The waterproof bladder it's inside. Oh, I'll take them out and show you. But it's got those little dots on the side were some of these gloves that were not waterproof. So I had to look at them and make sure that's it. One thing I do like is the 100% is now like a gray. It doesn't just jump out at you like the white ones did. But I don't like that little speckling there. That was like a cheaper kind of a ratty brand or version of them, but not waterproof. The ones are not waterproof. But anyway, I gotta run upstairs and pay for these things right quick. 2024 that the ACS pump doesn't work. And remember I told you it had a lot of resistance to the motor, but we hooked that thing back up, and he goes, you sure you got a good contact? I said, well, I was talking to you when it burnt me, because he's going, does it always make that sound? I said, woof, it lit me up. But the pump, you can't even really see it from here. But anyway, I powered it up. So there's some test procedures for this, and one of them is through the dash, because ultimately there must be sharing a computer or something that's in that dash, which they do that. There's components that are in that dash that control other things in the bike, But one of the tests is pulling the display out and testing voltage or resist. I don't recall which. But what we found out, this is the power wire going to the ACS pump right there. And that's where I jumped and put the power to it. No power is ever going to it. So, and I even, you know, just without doing a crazy test, get it running, chalk the wheel up, put it in first gear, park brake off, engine running, and in gear, either first or reverse. And I just took the arm off, and I'm just going up and down, trying to simulate. There's never a click, nothing. It's not functioning at all. So it's never supplying power from the bike to the ACS pump. I can let all the air out, which I think it's out now. It never adds air back to it, just sits there. But I can overfill it. So without, you know, because you can do a backwards test, overfill it, and then do the same thing. Have the bike running, park brake off in first or reverse. And here you go. Because when I overfill it, meaning there's nobody on it, you put air to it until it tops the shock out, which is way below anything that's going to harm anything. And the system's working and letting the air out. Where the problem is sending power to the pump when it needs to add air to it. Let me go up here and pay for these gloves right quick. Maybe I'll get me a sugar-free hot chocolate while I go up there too. So here's the suspension control relay. 86 and 30 have power to them all the time. When 86 or 85 receives a ground, it creates a magnet. It's an electronic magnet, which triggers this to click over, 30 to click over to 87. 87 is attached down here to the air compressor. So what happens is when this creates a charge, a magnet, and sets off the relay, it sends power to the pump. Well, it's never getting a ground. This ground, 87, is coming from, oh, I lost myself here. Drops down. That is the suspension relay control. This is for the dashboard. This is the coupler that goes into the dashboard, to the display. So the display is creating the ground. Well, I'm never getting that ground, so I was able to trick it here a little bit. So without taking the whole, because I want you to take the whole dash apart and see if there's a ground to that connector, which there's not. Obviously there's not, because this is from the dashboard, and I just ran a wire to that. That's the wire going to the cluster, and I created, just using the ground off the tender lead, I created a ground, and the pump fires up and runs. But here's the problem. It sits there and runs. And I'm looking back, and I'm making sure my connection, because it's all loose, so that anything goes wrong, I can let go. And so nothing gets hot, everything's running like it should, but the airbag never fills with any air. Reverse actuator, there we are. Suspension release valve. If you look, I'm sorry about the white balance because I set it for inside here. See right there with the suspension relay control should be from the dash should be supplying the ground. This ground for the release valve. So technically that shouldn't be on, but I just need to verify, get all this out so I can get access to that. See if that release valve, I can't be in two places at once. I can't stand here and hear if the relief valve is open, it's going psst, it's letting all the air out. So it may be just pumping right through and coming right out the release valve. Or the pump's not even connected to anything. Who knows? So I'm going to pull all this panel stuff off and get in so we can take a look at that. It's very strange. So going through, now this is for a 23 because the 24 manual is not even out yet, although I haven't looked this morning. I have the wiring diagram and the engine. I have the engine manual and the wiring diagram for 2024. I do not have anything else for 24. So based on a 23, they want me checking that pin out to see if there is a ground on the back side of that cluster, which means all that stuff's got to come off, and see if it's creating a ground. Why did the dash? So the dash is the computer for running that must be housed in the cluster. They, like the park brake control and the shift angle sensor control is all in the framework that runs the windshield motor. It's like epoxied into it. So it's crazy. Things get shared all around. It's crazy how smart they are, but you got to figure out what game they're playing. But what is, because when that never had a ground, so I don't know, but I was thinking with the key off, it wasn't creating a ground, and it was when the key's on, but that's not true because it never does have a ground. But to set this all in motion, that dash has to set a ground to send to this relay, and then everything goes off from there. But now I got two problems at the same time. I created the ground. I manually created the ground, and the pump's just running away. And there's not a drop of air in that bag. I released all the air out of it. I actually just leaned on the bike to compress the spring and let the air out of the Schrader valve. And there's no air. That's why the bag is like almost imploded, because it sprung back up a little bit, and so it's sucking on an empty bag. And just get this cover off on the other side here and check some other things out. Okay, so the pump, she's pumping like a dream. There's the ACS pump. Definitely working, and it's leaked out now, but because I had I was doing another test, and the release valve let the air out. But I was doing some tests on at the sensor. I should have battery voltage at pin 5 and only have 5 volts. So my next step is to verify the ground between pin 1 and the pin up here, but it says pin 4, but that's for a 23. Looks like it's, I think, pin 8 looking at the wiring diagram for this. So, yeah. Got some more digging to do. I was trying to avoid I was just doing some quick tests. Trying to avoid taking that dash off of that thing. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Well, not really, but probably about the same thing as taking the side cover off, a little bit more. You gotta get the windshield and all that stuff out of there. But yeah, nothing so far. God, nice and neat. Everything's in there. Got a little BRP in there. Attention to detail. But the other thing we were talking about earlier is the gloves. So the Hydromatic Brisker gloves. But it was these little things here that used to be on a model that was a non-waterproof version. And I definitely like the darker color. I think that's reflective material. And of course, you got all the things there so you can use devices and whatnot. And it says waterproof. But they feel good. They feel like there's maybe a little more insulation on the outside than what the other ones were. But both gloves are the same. They fit correctly. There was a 2XL set that we had upstairs that the right glove, or I forget which one, I think it's the right glove, fit perfect as if it was an extra large. And the 2XL felt like a 2XL. So even though it was tagged inside, it said it was a 2XL. It was this glove. It was an extra large. That happens every once in a while. But they'll just swap it out. Get another pair. Anyway, it's about out of time here this evening. The CRV did great coming to work. Pouring down rain. The tires were nice. Those ones that were on there are getting a little thin in the skin and pretty dangerous when the freeway's wet like that. But clear my head on this thing, and maybe I'll send a case file and just tell them what I got going on. But I want to do some more tests. I probably should talk to them. Well, you can see the difference in the wiring diagrams. It's a different pin, from the sensor up there. It's just going to test a coupler up there to make sure the ground from the cluster coupler to that coupler should be near zero resistance. It should be a dead short, basically, meaning there's no resistance anywhere. But it failed the voltage test. But again, this is off of 2023. Maybe they did something different. Maybe they're running this in a CAN bus way, which would be 5 volts. Well, I have 5 volts there. But according to the 23, not 24 manual, because I don't have a 24, it should be battery voltage. It seems weird. Seems like that should be because that's a Hall effect sensor. I would think that would be 5 volts. I think that's a misprint or something, or maybe it was different before. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a sensor. You don't need all 12 volts going to it. But anyway, that's that for that. For today, anyway. Well, hello there, YouTube. It's 31 degrees out here.
It's cold.
So as soon as we start up, about the place we come, well, we're going to say goodbye going up the hill, or I'm going to let you go as you come up the hill. As soon as we took that first turn coming up the hill, and I go, gotta look on the side of the road. You could see ice and snow on the side of the road. And it just got deeper and deeper and deeper, and everything was white when we got up here. I mean, the grass and stuff it wasn't thick enough that it covered anything, but grass was sticking up through it. But it was a mixture of snow and mostly sleet.
Yeah, lots of sleet.
Yeah, like ball bearing size sleet.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Man, that had to have been loud hitting these tin roofs out here.
Yeah.
Man. But anyway, the old CRV did good going, coming back. Good old gal.
Yeah, she
clunker.
is.
But anyway, I pretty much talked you out and the rest of it, talking about that Spyder and stuff. So I think we'll slip out quick and easy on you tonight.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and you guys have a wonderful Tuesday or Wednesday.
Heck yeah. All right.
And we'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, it's going there where it's warm.
Yes.
Bye-bye now.